You're listening to Country Music Junkies, hosted by Patrice Whiffen. This week on Country Music Junkies, I'm so pleased to be chatting with Kitchener native Jamie Warren. Jamie, how you doing?
Good, Patrice. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Now, you've got a lot going on, and I know you've had a busy last little while. You're at the CMAOs in Ottawa. How was that? Let's start with that.
It was a blast. It was kind of cool to go to Ottawa. We don't get there very often. The interesting thing is that Ottawa's outside of the Ottawa Valley. The city itself is not really a country haven.
Right.
So we don't. There's not as many shows there as you might think. So it was really cool to be downtown because literally you could see the Parliament buildings, just to your left most of the week. Or weekend, pardon me. So it was a blast.
There you go. Now, you've got a new record, new single, all of that sort of fun stuff that I want to talk about. Let's first start with the single, Till the Moon Goes Down. What's the story behind that, and why did you choose that as the single?
Well, we picked that one this time of year because it sort of felt like a summer tune, and it is about partying. Now, the interesting thing is if you look deeper into the lyrics, it's a song about ageism.
Okay.
And that doesn't present as romantic and fun, but that's where the song came from for Carrie and I, my writing partner. If you listen to the lyrics, it's about as we age, as we get a little older, we can still party with everybody else. Don't give up on that. We are still relevant. See, all that sounds really boring. It doesn't seem like, hey, let's party.
But the song is anything. The song is anything but boring. So it's funny that you kind of describe that and in a deeper dive, kind of go back to the roots of the song. But when you hear it, you would never think that. You'd be like, this is sweet. I like this. I'm keeping this on repeat.
See, no, that's perfect because that's what we were going for. Is that if here I'll be totally honest. Like if I can add some depth to a song, I will, but not necessarily at the expense of somebody tapping their toe or singing along with the song.
For sure.
Or the trick is, can you do both? And I do. I think it's a fun tune.
That's awesome. Now, talk to me a little bit about the larger project, All of the Above. Where did that come from? Where did the name come from? All that kind of stuff.
Well, it's interesting. You asked about the name. With all my CDs I've had over the years, I always the last thing I choose is the title of the album, and I try to be creative or make a statement of some sort. And so this time around, the album is called All of the Above. Now, it is the fourth cut on the CD. I did not use numbers, I used letters. So if you go A, B, C, D is 4, right? D, all of the above. And that's the answer I use pretty much in life, is what's the answer? Well, it's D, all of the above. You can always sort of count on that. So I was just trying to be funny and a little creative. That's why I picked the letters.
That's actually super cool. And I've seen the record, I've seen the list of all the songs, and I did not clue into that. So that is super fun. I like that.
Yeah, I was, again, it's. I have way too much time on my hands. My wife will say I overthink everything, but I like that. I like it that way, and so it is something. And we spent the last 2 years, Carrie and I and a couple other friends of mine, writing for this album, and it was nice to get that out. And we've got another one actually coming out February 2020.
Oh, amazing!
The single that follows this one will be the first release from the next record, which will come out probably about the beginning of October. I always had 2 albums in my head. Like I didn't have all the songs written, but I felt like I wanted to say something for 2 records, and so we're about another 6 months away from that end, and so I'm doing a lot of recording. Have for the last couple of years.
There you go. Well, we look forward to hearing that new project as well. Again, February 2020. Sure to be on the lookout for that. Now, going back to All of the Above and that record, for people who haven't heard it, or maybe they've just heard the single, what would you say is the theme or the stories that you're kind of telling?
Well, it's interesting, not to overuse or use the pun, All of the Above. You're going to get that. There's 15 songs on this record. There was 4 extra bonus tracks, and it is, you're going to get what I would classify as some contemporary country, and you're going to get some sort of, I'm not going to call it retro, but sort of 90s country, as well as some cool story songs. And it, like in the old days, you would refer to those as albums. And I think that I would tell anybody who ever buys one of my CDs that you're going to get that. I'll never give you 10 songs all of the same, because that to me just seems boring. It seems boring as an artist. And what's going on right now, it's interesting, is people seem to be looking for a little left or right of what is right down the center. And so I'd say that to any artist is, what's your authentic voice? Don't be afraid to follow it, because, people aren't just looking for the same. And don't be afraid to be your authentic self.
Right. Well, that is really cool. And fans, again, be sure to check out the album All of the Above by Jamie Warren. We'll include a link with the posting of this interview so you can grab that. Jamie, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Oh, anytime. Thank you for having me.